Hi, Chris Kuzmal here. We're going to be working on testing our force computation, and the first thing we're going to do is encapsulate the main class into a new class, which we're going to call Nbody. What do I mean by that? Let's go over to main.java. Right now we have main.java and we have matter.java and this other thing called standarddraw.java. Those are files which we've introduced already. But now the thing is, main has become cluttered. Okay, we kept putting things into main, and it's not horribly cluttered, but it's cluttered. We want it to be much simpler than this, and really, it just needs to be its own class separately. That's not the main class. We're going to call this new class Nbody. And how are we going to do that? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to fork our repl. And so the way to do that is if I go to my set of repls and I have to track it down, it's in Newton's main laws. And you'll notice I already did this exercise a half hour ago. So hopefully I won't make any mistakes. As I click here over on the right next to the dots and I click fork, and it's live demo Nbody creation, right? And I confirm the creation of this new repl. So now whatever I do here, if I make a mistake, I can go back to the previous repl, and it's a very primitive form of version control, which is something else that we could get into later on. So now what I want to do is I want to duplicate this file. And it says main copy, that's fine. But instead of being called main copy, I'm going to call it Nbody. Oh, Leopard has appeared. She's wanting to come up. You want to come up and see us? Come along, Ella Leopard. You can do it. Yeah, she's 16 years old, so we try to give her special treatment. Okay, so Nbody is now this lovely file, which is identical to main. Okay, so well, let's just run because Kuzmal said encapsulate it, so I'm just going to duplicate it. And of course, this creates an error because I have a duplicate class. Even though Nbody has a new file name, inside of it, it still says class main. So I don't want the class's name to be main. I want the class's name to be the same as the first part of the file. So if I name it class Nbody, then let's see what happens when we run. Now, the good news is this runs just as before. That's fantastic. But this isn't really encapsulation. I've just created a new class called Nbody, which doesn't actually get invoked. The main file.java is the one that's invoked, nbody.java, even though it has a main method in it. This main method, wherever it is, does not get invoked. In fact, I'm going to change this main method to be a name of a method that does. Look, Leopard's grabbing me. She's jealous of the computer. I'm going to rename main to be Nbody loop. Okay, and I don't really need the arguments, so I'm going to get rid of the arguments. Now, this doesn't change anything, okay? Because I'm still not invoking this Nbody loop. This is still all code that's being invoked from main.java. But now I could invoke Nbody loop from main.java. This is potentially super cool because now what I can do is I can actually delete everything in main. What? Okay, well, what happens if I try to run with I have nothing? Well, I honestly don't know what's going to happen. It's still happy. That's pretty confusing to me. I'm a little surprised that happened. But so I'm going to make a public class main, and then inside of it I'm going to create a method public static void main with an array args, which should do absolutely nothing at all. And it does. So in our next video, we will now invoke the loop that's now defined in Nbody from main.